Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint Artist. We're going to talk about Seint Makeup. We're going to talk about the color Suede. It's a lip liner, it's dense, it's brown, and it's amazing for camouflaging. I also am going to drape this up just to add some warmth that's going to pull from under when I apply my 3D foundation. It's so good. The nice thing about this is it's all cream, so they all work together. They're formulated the same. So it's no worries. It's all very easy. Is it different? Yeah. Is it an adjustment? Yes. We're not using liquids and we're not using that thicker concealer. They're all the same. They're all creams and they're all good. I'm going to use two brushes today. I'm going to use a blend brush. This is great for your under eyes. This is great for color correcting. And then the 3D brush. This is a one and done brush. You could do your whole face with just this brush. I do typically recommend two brushes. I don't think when you try a new makeup, you should try more than one or two. So these are the two if you're going to be doing color correcting. I would suggest together. Really just depends on what you're going for from your makeup, but we'll have the conversation. We'll talk about what you want, and then I'll recommend the things that work with what you want out of your makeup. Because let's be honest, this thing comes empty and you get to build it up to whatever you want because it's 100% customized to what you want out of your makeup. All right. Let's dig in. So I'm going to go in on the fluffy end of my blend brush and I'm going to go into Suede right here. And we are going to focus on our melasma. So we're going to put this on the brush. I'm going to shake it and just fluff the brush out. And I have a pretty big, I don't want to say big, but it's a good size melasma spot. I'm going to stamp this around the melasma. And then I'm just going to push this onto my cheekbones. I'm going to drape this up because I have a melasma spot here and right here. So I'm going to drape this up and over, and it's just going to camouflage my melasma. Now, when you're color correcting, my biggest thing is I'm not color covering. So you're still going to see some things, but this is look, you can barely see it. And this is why I like this lip liner Suede. It's dense. So it's going to stay right where I put it. And then when I layer my makeup on top of it and actually cover things, it's going to hold that makeup there really well. So I'm going to stamp this on again. I have a little melasma spot coming in here. I got one here too. So again, stamping around just like this. I actually had a customer tell me about this. And then I was like, I'm going to try it. And it took some playing with for me to figure out exactly how I wanted to use it. And then once I figured it out, total game changer for me. And it worked marvelously. So with any cream, just remember less is more and build. Because these are highly pigmented. This is 80% pigmentation right here, whereas traditional makeups are 18%. 1.8 versus 8.0 is a big difference. So start small and build. So I always drape it up, but I want to pull some warmth from underneath. So when you see Suede, you think cool toned. Yes, I'm cool toned. And when I apply this makeup on my face, it almost warms. So I'm going to take some more. And I'm going to come right up here to my cheeks, just like this. And I'm going to drape this up. I'm not going over my nose. I'm just coming up on these little bits right here. And this is going to bring warmth from underneath. It looks a little nutty, but it works. Why does this work? This is going to give me some lift. This is going to give me just a little extra warmth. It's what I like out of my makeup. And you get to decide what you want out of yours. Is this an extra step? Yes, it is. Do I like the way it looks? Yes, I do. Is that why I do it? That is right. That is why I do it. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my 3D brush. I'm going to go to this nice short end, and I'm going to go into my main highlight, which is Sandy, and I'm going to stamp some onto my brush, and then I'm going to focus down here. Now, anytime I first start applying, or anytime you first get your makeup and you want to apply it, hang back here to apply it and bring it down. And the reason is, when you first get this makeup, you will likely apply too much to your brush. You might swipe through. Do not swipe. Stamp it on and then build. But I always say start in the back because you can hide too much makeup back here. Nobody's looking at this part of your face. So I always apply my creams first here and then I blend it down. I have a lot of movement around my mouth because I talk a lot. So I don't want to apply too much there. I'm just bringing this down the jaw a little bit. But I'm stamping this on. I like the stipple method the best. I do have a lot of old acne scarring, and so I try to cover it a bit, but I do apply my makeup as if I have no skin problems. And that's because if I spend too much time here trying to cover every teeny tiny little thing, I will apply too much makeup. I will stack, I will layer, and I will make it look very thick, a lot like a wedding cake. I looked like a wedding cake the first week that I had this makeup because I just wasn't used to, I was used to using a lot of makeup, but I was also used to using a lot of low pigmentation makeup. And so when you go to apply this makeup, you're used to piling it on, which is why you end up applying too much makeup. All right, so I've only applied my main highlight down here, nothing up here aside from my Suede Lip Liner to Camouflage. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my contour. This is Indigo. It's such a scary dark color, but it blends down so, so nice. So again, stamping in, there is no color that you need to wipe through. They're so pigmented, you'll just get too much on your brush. And I'm just gonna put this on either side of my forehead. Now, do you see how scary this is in the tin? It doesn't apply as scary. Could it? Absolutely. You can make this look super scary, but you can apply it and you can blend it down. So I'm just showing how easily this stuff blends down. So don't ever worry that you've messed up. There's no wrong way to apply this makeup. It's so good. I don't need to apply a main highlight up here because I'm going to put brightening here. And as it comes together with my contour, it just creates this dimensional, even skin tone. But you see how it just kind of, it's not meant to look like makeup. It's meant to look like a second skin. And that's why I like creams so, so much. I'm going to switch to the pointy end. I'm going to stamp in to Indigo, pinching it so it's a line. And I am going to come down the top sides of my nose. This is just going to straighten things out. I have a little bit of a bump. And so I use this to just straighten things out, square off the tip, and make it a cute little nose. I push this towards my brows just to follow natural shadowing, and then I'm going to tap it and I'm going to blend it down. I'm going to take that same pointy end. I'm going to go into my brightening highlight here just like that, and we're going to go down the middle. And whatever's left, we're going to stamp in the middle here, and we're just going to leave it. Looks a little scary, but it's going to work out just fine. If you're ever thinking you look crazy, this can't be right, just stop yourself and say, trust the process. Because that's all you need to do is trust the process. All I'm doing here is taking this short end and stamping over and just marrying these two colors together so it creates this nice, sweet little nose. I just want to get, oh, wrong color. I want to get this tip just a little pointier. You can do anything with contour, I tell you what. So I'm just going to use my finger, tap it down, tap it down, tap it down. That's it. I don't want it to look super pointy. It's just the way I like my nose. So I'm going to take this short end right here, and I have that brightening. I'm going to tap it out over the brows, and then I'm going to move it up towards that contour I put on. And that's what I mean where these will marry together and make this nice, even skin tone. That's all brightening is. It's a shade or two lighter than your actual skin tone. But because it blends down so well, it's not going to add so much texture. It adds none. Again, second skin, and it gives the illusion of reflecting light. I'm going to take that short end, grab it right here. I'm going to put it right there. We're just going to add, again, reflecting light. I like having a brightener on my Cupid's bow because it just accentuates it. There's always reflecting light on your chin, so I just add a little bit there because we want dimension. I'm just bringing it together with my main highlight, and that's all. And that's all. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of blush, and I am going to use Frenchie. I love this color. So I have redness under my makeup. I had color corrected it with Aspen like I always do, but today we're focusing on Suede. And one of the things I notice if I want a nice bold cheek is I always keep Frenchie in my arsenal, but it's such a good subtle color for fall. Look at how pretty this is. If you're just looking for a nice subtle cheek color for fall, this is it. You go into the pumpkin patch, this is your color. You're going to work in the fall, this is it. You walking in with a Starbucks in your hand, this is it. This is a really beautiful, subtle, flush color for your cheeks. I'm going to grab a little bit of Bella bronzer, can't go without it, and I'm just going to come right around my eye here, and I'm just going to add that extra bit of warmth on the outsides of my face here because that's what I want out of my makeup. And I just like the way that this works with Frenchie. It's so, so good. All right, I'm gonna go in on this pointy end and I'm gonna add more contour. I'm doing my contour after my blush. And I like to show it in this order because a lot of people think you have to go contours and main highlights and brightenings. There's no wrong way to do this. So I'm just gonna add this to the top part of my cheek here. This is a great place to apply if you're just learning how to contour. Just hang it up and back, just back here. You don't even really see, but it does add just that little bit of texture. Now, because I put that suede up here, I'm tapping lightly and that's it. I'm gonna switch it to the dense end, the short end, and I'm just marrying it in with my blush. Look at how nice that looks. Doesn't look scary at all. It's just a natural, accentuated shadow. Look at how pretty that looks. And I just like that when you tap over things, that suede underneath doesn't change. It doesn't move. It's so good. And that's why I like using something dense to correct with under my 3D makeup. I'm going to go back to the 3D brush on the small end and I'm going to do my under eyes. I'm going to use the small end going into Versailles. It's my favorite brightener. I like the pink undertones to it. Everyone's different, but these are the colors I'm using. I'm going to start under the trough. Everybody has texture. Skin is a texture, and I don't want you to think, oh, I'm going to put this makeup on and I'm going to be flawless with no texture. That's not possible. I don't care who you are because you could have that perfect, beautiful skin and you can put too much makeup on and create texture where there is none. So just remember, everyone has texture. I have pores, I have puffiness, I have fine lines. I can't get rid of them, but I certainly can camouflage them. I can certainly not accentuate them more. And so I just say less is more. Start under that trough, bring it up and bring it in. And I only put this on my inner corner and right here. And then I'm going to grab a little bit more and I'm going to come right over here and then I'm going to push on my orbital bone as I blend it out and up. I don't want a lot. I'm just going to take this fluffy end and I'm just sweeping this using the tips of the bristles. You don't see my eye being pulled in all these directions because you don't need a lot of pressure to move this makeup. The warmth of your skin puts this where it needs to go and helps move where it wants. But you see how it just gives this really nice youthful look and it doesn't add texture. It's just a good makeup and that's what made the difference. For me, when I tried this makeup, the reason I stuck with it for so long is because it just looks better. It's like a second skin. It's very hydrating looking. And if I want it matte, I can make this a matte finish. If I want a dewy glow, I can do that also. You have all the control. If I want this for a very minimal amount of makeup, I can do that. If I need to pump it up and go out on the town, I could do that all with the same palette. I don't have to have a separate palette that's my going out palette. I don't need a separate bottle that's my getting ready. And it's just good stuff. So I'm just tapping this on. And there we go. Use that fluffy and pick up excess. If you ever feel like you've applied too much makeup, just take the fluffy end and sweep over those areas and it'll pick it up without compromising your makeup. And that's one of the things I like. You have so much more control over this makeup than anything else. If you like a matte finish, grab the setting powder. It's well pressed, very fine. It doesn't dust off into everything in your palette. And so I just take some on the fluffy end of my brush. I kick off the excess and I start on my temple and I bring it in and down because it's on the outside of my face. It's the least amount of texture and I always end where there's very little on my brush under my eyes. I don't like to add or bake. I used to do that quite often and it just made me look a little older than I wanted to look. So adding that powder, starting at the temple and moving in and around, coming down. I don't like a lot of powder on my pores. I think it accentuates them. And so that's why I start out here, bring it down, then I bring it up. Very simple, but it's just this really nice neutral. Look at how pretty this is. If I want to add more blush, which I do, I will. I like to be able to see the blush I'm wearing. It's so good. So I'm going to take the small end of my blend brush, I'm going to go in to Suede, and I'm going to go under my lip here and over the top of my lip here. And all I'm doing is just creating a very, very light shadow right here. It just, do you see that? It's just this very subtle shadow, and I love that. We're going to grab a multitasker brush for lining the lips. That's this brush right here. We're going to grab a little bit of Suede. We're going to outline our lips, not outer line, outline. Outline the lips right up here. I like to start at the bottom and pull up, just like that. I always just wing out the upper lip just a little bit. I'm going to take Frenchie on both sides, and I'm just going to pop this on and then put it together. It's a really pretty neutral lip, but adding that shadow and adding that liner, it just makes it good. It just gives the illusion that it's a little bit fuller than it actually is, and that's what I like. I need some gloss. All right, you have gloss and you have balm. These are both demi. They're both on sale and they're both really good, but when you're using something like Frenchie, it's dense, and so it can sometimes on your lips add a little bit of texture, tap over it, but also I like the balm, and I just tap over the middle, and it just makes it hydrated. Little tip. All right, that's it. I'm gonna take setting spray. Where's my setting spray? Boom. Urban Decay All Nighter. I like buying the travel sizes from a gym bag, and you just are gonna spray all over, set it, and forget it. All right, that's it. That's how I use Suede to camouflage under my 3D, but it also keeps it nice and warm right under here. And then I use bronzer out here. It's good stuff. I love Suede. It's so good. Contoured my lips, lined my lips, camouflaged and warmed from underneath. It's so good. So get it. That's it. Have a great day.